how many people don't understand what the process of calling? If you've never called 911 in your life, and all the dispatch is different everywhere, but some dispatchers have almost like an automated system where they have to ask specific questions in a specific way. Why aren't we putting that information out to the public so they, because how often do people get mad at 911? You see the CAD notes and people are like, just fucking get somebody here. Like, I don't want to go through this. Why aren't we putting that information out to the public? Hey, this is how the 911 call is going to work, and this is why we do this. Or, hey, if you have a civil issue, here are some things to help you. And yeah, are we still going to get those calls? But if you do it in a fun way, like maybe you avoid that call where somebody's like, well, the cops can't do anything about this anyway. And I'm going to take these steps because I watched this video on social media. And you can do it a fun way. You can sing and dance. You can do a fucking dance number if you want to. Just make it educational,
Yeah.
not these stupid challenges. And I think it would help policing so much if the social media on the department took more time to educate the public and highlight what was actually happening in the community. I listened to your podcast with Mark Lamb, and he brought that up,
Hmm.
is highlighting, telling the people in your community what actually is going on. Don't I hate when my police department I know would fluff shit to make it look like it's not that dangerous. We all know how dangerous it is. Tell the people the damn truth. Don't hide it.
Yeah, Pinell County, where Mark Lamb is at, that is what's put him on the map. Is his use of social media. They are the third largest social media presence in the nation for law enforcement, behind FBI and New York NYPD.
That's impressive.
That's majorly impressive considering that their department is like 200 sworn. I mean, they're not a big agency at all. Now, the average number for I think 80% of agencies, maybe even 90%, is like 10 or 20 officers max. So that gives you guys a little perspective. But they are doing it in a one. They are showcasing the enforcement they're doing. Two, they are educating, and three, they're making it fun. So you got Fridays with Frank, which is just it's kind of like an episode of Cops, but just for traffic enforcement, where this guy's going out and pulling people over, doing shit that pisses all of us off, such as riding slow in the left lane, speeding through construction areas, the guy that's zipping in and out of traffic, being an asshole to everybody. Like, they target these types of things, these types of behaviors, and then the people that do the criminal speeding, like, you know, I speed, but I fully accept it. If I get a ticket, I get a ticket. But I don't speed like that. I don't do criminal speed where I could be arrested for it. And that's the type of stuff that they're showcasing. But as they do it, they're telling you what the laws are. Hey, your tint's too dark. Your tint's only allowed to be this according to traffic code. Da 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 da. And he knows all this stuff by heart. Like, he's a machine. So him being able to recite that and then tell it on video, where he's got 30 million views, he's educating not just the people in the local area, he is educating possibly the entire state and other states. Now, the laws may vary state to state, but they're generally pretty close. And just knowing that you can't have your license plate obstructed, you can't, have different color lights flashing on your car. You can only have certain color taillights. You can only have certain color headlights. And, he's letting these people know this stuff on these videos, and it's all controlled by the department. The department is solely the one putting out this information. So they're controlling their narrative, and they're putting out stuff of substance, not just stuff of that lacks substance, so to speak.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. And I get, like these 10-man departments, they don't have a social media, dude. I get it. I understand. Not all departments are going to use it, but like, well, no, I'm not going to go away my department. I almost did, but the you would just see the stuff, and it's like a lot of the stuff. I thought they were kind of self-fulfilling themselves. Like, hey, like, look at me, look how cool I am, and like, yeah, just highlight. It's so simple. Highlight the good stuff. I don't even care if you do like, hey, every department has a story where you bought a kid a bike. I think that's great. You want to put that on social media? That's great. And honestly, that's a good thing to do. Being good to each other. We should highlight that stuff. But if anybody's listening as a social media department, A, I'm for hire. I'm a hired gun. But B, just put out educational, fun information and people will eat it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. And I want to get your opinion on this. Okay. So we have these cops. We know the opportunities for a lot of departments for cops to make good money is not very prominent. So I'm fortunate where I'm at. I will tell you, I make enough. So I'm very happy with what I make. Um, but with that said, you got some cops that are out there, and I'll talk about this stud muffin looking dude that I'm specifically referring to. Uh, I'm pretty sure he comes from a small agency. They don't offer a lot of money, and this is another outlet for them to make money on the side with. And he doesn't show his agency, but you know he's a cop. You can tell, and he's probably making good side money off of the social media by highlighting himself. What's your thoughts on, I'm not going to hate the game of you trying to just make a little extra cash.
No, and you can't knock the hustle. I mean, to me, the most famous person that does that is have you ever heard of Officer Ashley Smith?
No.
Apparently she's not that famous. Okay.
Okay.
But she does the same thing where it kind of started out more police wise and now it's basically like she's rubbing lotions on her ass. And you always kind of like you watch and you're like, God, I'm watching this again. Okay.
uh,
And it's a lot of guys have issue with that. It's like you're demeaning the badge. And I think that's a problem a lot of people have with it is and I'm torn here, man, because I'm all about the hustle. I mean, that Poorly Made kind of started out as a hustle. It didn't. I didn't intend for this to make any money. It just was a fucking meme page, and here we are 5 years later. And but I I don't want to knock the hustle because look, man, this is America. Do what you can to make money. We're only here for a short amount of time. I guess if you gotta show your ass and look like a fool, it's what you got to do. People are eating it up. But where the other side of me is like I'm very passionate. You can see with my hand movements.
yeah.
I'm very passionate about the job. And as a guy that makes memes, I'm a little hypocritical saying this, I'll acknowledge it, but I'm passionate about the job. And so when people are in their uniform acting in a way that I think demeans the job, that's where I'm hypercritical of it.
Yeah.
And where they identify themselves as I'm officer Ashley Smith and here's my ass as I rub cream on it. It's like it's kind of demeaning to the job. And maybe that is a boomer outlook on it. I mean, I've talked to a chick that was a cop that is on fucking OnlyFans now. And she plays up the like I was a cop thing and it fucking disgusts me because it's like you're demeaning the job. And so that's kind of my issue with that is the demeaning of the job. So I'm in conflict of that's the thing is there's always two sides to every story. People
Yeah.
don't want to acknowledge that, but there always is two sides for most things on this planet. Is there's always like, all right, well, did you think about this though? And this is one of those things. Like, yeah, I want people to make all the money they can possibly make. I am all for that. But the other side of it is you're demeaning my beloved job, and it's that conflict for me.